Hi guys, welcome to my movie fan channel. My name's Tyler. Today's retro review is going to be for Godzilla King of Monsters. It is a retro review because I'm doing it retroactively. Came out like 2 years ago, 2019. It seems like really far away considering the pandemic. This is our next installment of the MonsterVerse reviews as we anticipate the release of Kong versus Godzilla or Godzilla versus Kong, whatever order it's in. I don't know if that gives away who's going to win or not, but whatever order it's in, I'm excited for that movie because I think that this cinematic universe built up into something that you could be excited for. At least a little bit. It's not, as polished as the MCU is. It doesn't have character down like the MCU, but I think they corrected their mistakes along the way and made me excited to see a more well-rounded movie this time around. Maybe that's false hope, and I'm getting myself riled up, but we shall see. As I said, Godzilla King of the Monsters kind of corrected some of the mistakes from the previous movies, and if you look at the 2014 Godzilla, they didn't show the monster enough. That was my one criticism. I think a lot of people focused on that and how the people of the story were the forefront and not the monsters. And I totally agree with that. They didn't do the people adequate, though. Like, if you're going to follow people around, which you kind of need to keep the story grounded, they didn't do that. Kong Skull Island kind of corrected this mistake. They put the monsters a little bit more in the forefront. They tried to do the people thing. Again, fell a little bit short. They did have some kind of dynamic between them that made them kind of relatable, and there was characters like John C. Reilly's character who had personality and was somebody that you're like, okay, this is entertaining to watch him. But still, you're not like rooting for these people. You're just like, oh, he's dead. Sam Jackson's dead. He said motherfucker right before he died. It's just kind of like, it is what it is. They're just people dying, and you care about the monsters, and you're not getting enough of those. So this movie, I feel like, does that balance really well. And by balance, I mean there's a ton of monster stuff and there's very little people stuff. And when there is people stuff, it follows a family. So it's Vera Farmiga, Millie Bobby Brown. They're like a mother-daughter pair. And the dad comes into the picture. And they're all decent actors. And they all could carry a story on their own. It's just that the characters are so bland. And they're like scientists and whatever. But come on, we got to follow these people around for the whole movie, and all we want to see is the dinosaurs, big giant monster creatures kill each other. So just give us that. This movie, you kind of care about them and want them to, stay together and be reunited at one point because they're a family and you can relate to that. But it's still weak characters. There's a villain in this played by Charles Dance, who is an incredible villain in everything he's ever been in. The Crown. He's in Game of Thrones, one of my favorite shows of all time, is Tywin Lannister. You can't go wrong having him as a villain for any project. He doesn't have that much to do. I'd like to see him do more. In these future movies, I'd like to see him back and really causing some chaos. He was just kind of like the muscle for Vera Farmiga's like crazy wacky plot of like Earth has to start over and we're gonna have monsters destroy it. So he was the force behind that. Now it looks like he's kind of running his own gambit and his own boss, and I'm interested to see what that character will do and what his motivations are. And I hope they delve deeper into that and make it a character worth caring about, because we had Ken Watanabe's character that was in the original Godzilla. He's back as a returning character, so you kind of are invested in him, but like I said, the family is more the forefront, and he kind of takes a backseat. What happens to him happened to him. We'll see what they do, because Millie Bobby Brown is coming back for Kong vs. Godzilla, so that gives me hope that they'll give her some depth too, and we'll go back and maybe view this movie with more reverence, knowing where the character goes and what she becomes and what she grows into and her full story arc. Maybe we'll appreciate it a little bit more. At least that's what I'm hoping. I mean, I think this was the best of all the MonsterVerse movies so far, just because you get a ton of monsters, and even if they're in there for like 5 seconds, you're like, oh, it's a cool design, cool thing that they created. They hint towards other monsters down the road, so there's things that they can do with this universe. But then again, there's not a lot of things they can do, and they follow these same tropes, and I'm super curious of where they're going to go after Kong vs. Godzilla. We'll see if it does well at the box office. The time of release is just bad right now with the way the theater industry is. But we'll see what happens with that, where they want to go with their cinematic universe, because I don't really know what they're going to do. I think the main allure is the big CGI monster fights and the really cool visuals, but I don't know how long you can sustain that and how long they're going to keep coming back. Because I think with Transformers, there was nothing underneath the surface of the iceberg, and people kind of caught on to that. Took a lot of movies. They made a ton of money. You could take your kids and mindlessly sit through that or whatever, but I mean, after a while, it was just like people were like, I'm not going to go see those movies. It's just CGI fest and stuff blowing up and big creatures. So that's cool for a while. I don't know how sustainable it is in the long run. But we'll see, guys. I hope that they improve some of the characters in the story. That's just what I'd like to see. Let me know if you guys share that opinion, if you guys felt the same way watching this. Let me know how much you're anticipating Kong versus Godzilla or Godzilla versus Kong. I keep saying it backwards, I think. If I say it both ways, I can't get it wrong. So I'm going to keep doing that. All right. And I will see you guys in the next video. Make sure you give me a thumbs up down below. Hit subscribe and the little notification bell. That really helps out the channel. Thanks, guys. And like I said, I'll see you next time.